Hello and welcome to the Social Media Switch Off. This is me, Trina Kavanagh-Thomas. I'm a body and mindset business coach. And today we have an amazing expert with us. She's an intuitive healer. She's got years of wonderful experience within healing inner child, healing mothers, healing daughters, to help you attract the right people into your business and into your life. So I've got this is so much what's the word I'm looking for? So much beauty in this person. And I just want to introduce Niki Moss-Simpson. Hello. Hopefully you can hear me because I know you may be on a time. So Niki is in Switzerland at this moment in time. So we might have a slight time delay in between what I'm saying and then what Niki's saying as well. So we said that we kind of like just go with it, and hopefully we can like fill in some gaps for you and stuff. So if it kind of freezes at any point or anything like that, I'll just say, you know, we didn't quite get that, so we can carry on. So tell us a bit about yourself, Niki.
Hello, hi everybody. I'm Niki, intuitive guide for soulful women and girls. And I'm a holistic healer, and I daughter lineage, the mother-daughter relationship. And in doing so, in working on this relationship, it's discovering their empowerment, their self-empowerment. Mums and daughters, the relationship is just the most important relationship in the world for so many reasons. And so I'm a mum and I'm a daughter, and I'm a mum to a 20-year-old daughter and a 16-year-old son, and they've taught me so much over the years that, you know, I just want to share such a strong relationship with your children as a mother, and how we can really work on healing the relationship between mothers and daughters. I'm also really attracted to the other end of the mother and daughter relationship, and that's the empty nesting years, as I recently went through the grief, and it really is a grief of my daughter leaving home. It left such a huge void in my life that I honestly couldn't believe what was happening to me. And it's something that as women we don't talk about. We really do not talk about or appreciate what happens to us when that role of mother, of looking after the nest, the little chicks in the nest, and feeding them and nurturing them and caring for them, when they're actually ready to fly and they leave us, and that hole that's left, we know they're still there, but there really is such a change in us that might leave us feeling very vulnerable and alone, and we often feel like. So one of the things that I do is to work with women at this time in their lives to help them rekindle their spark. You know, my business is called Shine, Sparkle, Radiate, and it is because that's what I believe as women we bring to the world. You know, you see a woman, she lights up a room. She brings her skills to everything she does. She does everything from her heart. And I find it sad if women, if this is what we do as women, we've been taught to do. We're taught to hide our lights. We're taught to hide our shine, our sparkle, our radiate. And what I really want to encourage all women and all girls to do is to really bring that out into the world, because as women, we really can lead the healing of the world from this heart-centered place. So over the years I've trained in, and I was a teacher. Originally I was a teacher. When I left university, I was a teacher in a primary school. And so I've always cared for children. So it was a big thing. And I was convinced I couldn't get pregnant. And that was going to be that was going to be my downfall in life. I was never going to be a mother. It happened, and I did have my daughter. And I eventually had my son as well. And I think I wanted to be a mother because that part of me, that nurturing part of me, was really my life's mission. And so I now find myself in the position of mothering other women and girls, as well as my own children. So moving from being a teacher, I trained as a holistic therapist because I went through a stage of depression and anxiety. I was working with boys in a special school, boys with emotional and behavioural difficulties who had really tough experiences. And I moved, so I discovered reflexology, I discovered Reiki, I discovered Indian head massage, and I went on this huge learning, spiritual awakening, and bringing out all of these gifts in me and training so that I had tools, to help other people and myself to live the best life I could. And then over the years, I've gone back to teaching because I've missed it so much. And then I've gone into my own healing practice, and I've allowed those gifts that I was given to come back out to the surface after hiding them, because I thought I was a weirdo and that, you know, people wouldn't take me seriously because I had all these weird gifts. You know, I'm clairaudient, clairsentient, you know, I'm highly sensitive all the time, and then wonder if they're my feelings or someone else's, and I get caught up in very much other people's energy. So I had to learn how to work with that myself. And it's sort of over the years that all of the skills I've learned from teaching that I bring into my workshops and my retreats and into my coaching of women and girls. And people say to me, but why women and girls? Do you have a son? Yeah, I have a son. I have a 16-year-old son. And he's very, very important to me. But he would say the same thing. He says, Mum, men have done a really bad job in our world. You know, patriarchy has so much power, and there's so much wrong it's done. You as women, you as girls have so much love to give, and it's through love that we'll be able to heal the world. So go for it, Mum. He says, it doesn't matter that you talk about women and girls all the time. It's right, you know, I'm with you. And he's really, really supportive.
That's so beautiful. So amazing what you're saying, because it is so true that there is so much going on in this world that we're almost taught to push. Don't you agree? We're taught to, you know, just go and push and do, and you have to be all these things. And the thing is, at the end of the day, you're trying to be all these things to everyone else, but you're not being the one thing that you need to be to yourself, which is loving. And is you kind of, and this is nothing to kind of like beat ourselves up about. It's just an awareness over it. So then we're able to take action or remove the things that we don't need anymore, or take on the things that we do need. And you're so true about the hiding as well. It's definitely something that I've done over some of my spiritual gifts as well. We hide because we don't want to be seen as being a bit silly and stuff. So I'm so excited to have you here to be talking about all this with us.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here too. Yeah.
So tell us more about, you know, your approach to inner children, the inner child in us.
So before the age of 6, all our behaviors, all our decisions are made from a place of looking for survival in a family. So when we cry, when we ask for a hug, being visible so that we are cared for and nurtured, so that we are guaranteed our survival. Now, that is basically our inner child. Our inner child has developed in such a way that she wants us to survive. So the behaviors that he or she shows, we can carry inside us and they can be the behaviors that we use to guarantee our survival in society. So often they're inappropriate They're absolutely inappropriate as adults. But we don't realize that because we haven't learnt that this is our inner child speaking. And so when our inner child is silenced, we often develop behaviors that are self-destructive. Like we might turn to addictions, gambling, excessive lying, being irresponsible, being angry, or a fear of authority, or being passive. There's all sorts of things that we put in place that are to help protect us, but that don't serve us as adults.
Yeah.
Lots of indications that we're carrying a wounded inner child inside us who needs our help in healing. And just being conscious that we have a wounded inner child or talking about it isn't enough to heal. We have to do some work to heal. But we might have the things that the experience. It takes some understanding, and many people are just not aware of that. And to be a good parent, you need to have reparented yourself, your inner child. And that's why so many people have difficulties being a good parent, because they really are operating from their hurt, their wounded inner child, rather than a place of being a responsible adult. So these are some of the things that you can do now to help you. You can remind yourself how special and wonderful you were as a child. We often criticize ourselves for the things that we weren't good at as a child. We might have not been good at, I wasn't good at maths at school. So, even today I'll say some sums to do there, oh, you're not good at that. And then I think, where did that come from? Because as a child, I thought I wasn't good at maths. So just remind yourself how wonderful you were. I wasn't good at maths, but I was super good at writing poems. So I can say to myself, yeah, but you were great at writing poems, Niki. Didn't help you do the accounts, but it was great for keeping people entertained. What else can you do? You can speak kindly to your inner child each and every day in a loving and soothing voice, a supportive, soft and nurturing voice. You can tell him or her, you can relate to that, Leslie, yeah. You can tell him or her how much she's loved and valued and appreciated by you. And you don't need to prove yourself anymore. You don't need to prove yourself to anybody. You are who you are. And if people like you, great. If they don't, that's their problem. It's got nothing to do with you. You don't have to prove yourself at all to anybody. As a child, it was all about proving yourself. I want to be in that gang with those girls because they're the cool girls. I want to have a boyfriend, so I'll just pretend I like football because he likes football and I don't like.
That is so true.
And we did things like that as children, which we don't have to do as adults, There's nothing to feel guilty. As an inner child, what you did as a child, don't feel guilty about it. It's over, it's finished, let it go. You didn't do anything wrong. You were never in the wrong, you might have been in the wrong place at the wrong time, but you didn't do anything wrong. And just let that go. Our inner child never needs to feel fear that they're going to be alone, because what often happens as a child is, to feel safe, we have to feel that we're not going to be rejected or abandoned. And if you think about animals, if you think about kittens or puppies, they're always very close to their mothers, and each other, because there's a fear of being left behind, a fear of being rejected or abandoned. and as humans, we have that same fear as a baby and as a child under 6. And it's only from about the age of 7 that we start to realize that we need to look beyond our family for support as well. And that's when we start to look, to look away, and look at our friends for support as well. And just remember that healing happens in different ways and different time frames for different people. So healing is a bit like healing a wound. It takes time. It goes through different processes. It might start as a big open wound and very bloody, but eventually the skin starts to form underneath, and then a scab develops, and maybe the scab will fall off, and that's okay, because the scab will grow again, and then eventually the scab will cover over, and then you'll grow fresh new skin, and then we won't even know where the scar is. And that's the process of healing.
Absolutely.
There's a question now. I'm just plugging in my... What does Leslie's question say? Yes, absolutely, Leslie. You can recruit that inner child to help you with your healing. Yeah, that's one of the processes that I take mums through in my mum and daughter relationship coaching, is that I ask them to identify any wounds that have happened as an inner child, and when that happened, what the events were that led up to that. And then I ask them to bring the inner child, to bring their little girl with them to their own healing, so that by healing themselves, then they can then work on their mum and daughter relationship as well. Yeah, you're absolutely right. She can do so much in helping you heal, definitely. Yeah, remember that she's a real part of you, and she's part of your subconscious mind, and she's there all the time. And if she's wounded, she needs your love, and she needs your care, and she needs your compassion, because no one else can heal her pain and help make peace with the past except you. So that dialogue with her really is a daily thing. And sometimes you find yourself reacting in a way, and you think, well, why am I behaving like this? Where's this come from? And it's often a little girl. You're in a little girl. So here, look at me. I need you to be there for me as well. And sometimes I say to women, imagine that she's sitting in your hands, and just bring your hands to your heart, and bring her into your heart, and hold her there, and just say, I love you. I really, really love you. I see you, feel you, and I'm never going to abandon you or reject you. You are that part of me that needs me, and I'm there. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. And it's amazing, how wounded we can be. And especially, when it comes to any kind of inner child work, it is about, removing the guilt around any of this, and just recognizing what's going on within yourself. I know my inner child comes out from time to time, and it's just a case of, okay, I know now that I need to either rest, I know now that I need to do something, or I know now that I need to take action on something. It's about listening to, it's almost like a cooperation, don't you think so? Almost like it's talking to your best friend. It's talking to your best friend. You're going along together on a journey together, and you're taking your inner child with you as you move ahead into the future, rather than leaving your inner child behind. Yeah, that is so powerful and so beautiful. Could you just recap as well? So, with the inner child, could you recap on what you just said as well?
She really needs to know that you're there and you're listening. So really acknowledge her every day just say, if you find you're acting in a way that is your inner child, she wants to be heard, she wants your support, and she wants to know you're there. So really just open your hands and say, come and sit on my hands. I see you, I hear you. Bring her into your heart and say, you're safe. You're safe here. I'm not going to reject you. I'm not going to abandon you.
I like that. I really do. I really do. And I can definitely see where my inner child acts up as well, because I've become really feisty in anything that I do when my inner child starts acting up. And I know that I need to kind of step away a little bit. And it's so empowering to hear this, because even, it's new information as well. We're always hearing new information. We think that we may know it all, but we're always hearing new information. So, having this information brought to us is just so great. I know the lovely Leslie's on the call today. We've got Barbara as well here. So is there any questions you would like to ask Niki?
Question, but it's more like not a comparison, but it's along similar lines. As Trina will know, I've begun studying as a practitioner for Ho'oponopono, and I'm using some of that already in my hypnotherapy practice, just weaving it gently and not being blatant about it, but just a few of the techniques putting in there. And the basis of Ho'oponopono is clearing your programming, clearing your data to allow fresh inspiration and to get back to zero, to that state of spiritual grace, if you like, where you are just not perfect, but perfect, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But doing daily cleaning and using the 4 phrases that they give you as part of that, but sometimes trying to do that every day, either consciously or unconsciously, can sometimes feel a bit like a chore. And so one of the clearing tools that they teach is recruit your inner child. And you talk to your inner child and you ask permission, first of all, to hold its hand. You then ask permission if you can stroke its hair. Ask permission if you can put your arm around it. And then you say to it, I really would like your help in cleaning. So as you might recruit your own child to say, do a few household chores, they want to help, Mum, can I help with this? Oh, great, yeah, fine, here you go. Save me a job. And so you're then giving your inner child that same ability to help you. So in that way you help each other. As you clear your data and you clear your programming, and therefore you're letting go of everything that you've been carrying around with you, you've got rid of your past and you're constantly cleaning that down, your inner child is helping you in that process and you're healing each other. And so I see that sort of tying in with what Niki teaches as well with her people, in bringing your inner child in and acknowledging that child, loving that child, keeping that child safe, but also helping that child to help you. So you're mutually assisting one another in getting yourself to that wonderful state where you are free. You're completely free. You're that empty whiteboard ready for new ideas and inspiration, if that makes sense.
That makes total sense, and great advice as well. That is, that is really good, because, I think it's you studies the Ho'oponopono, and so does the lovely Barbara as well. And you can say those 4 words to yourself, but we never think about introducing the inner child into that aspect as well, into the forefront of that, into the forefront of that. So that's why that is really beautiful, to ask permission of your inner child. And that also goes back to what Niki was saying as well, with speaking kindly to your inner child, telling your inner child that they're safe, you know, to bring them along the journey with you, because it's not about leaving them behind, is it? It's about bringing them on the journey with you. And that is the beautiful journey that we are taking through life. And especially as women as well, we are taking a great journey through life to heal not only just ourselves, but to help other people heal each other as well. So that is fabulous. Thank you, Leslie. Barbara, do you have any questions as well for Niki?
I don't. I came in late because I was working myself. So, and I know we've had a few discussions about the inner child, and I think it's something that I'm still exploring. But I suppose I'm not fully aware of getting in touch with my inner child, but I could very much relate to the whole thing of the experiences as a child and how they bring us to where we're at now. So yeah, it's not even in my radar as something I can focus on right now. That just my brain feels like it's going to explode. I'm also trying to deal with, and I've just had a whole discussion with the ladies in I'm a Slim and World consultant and I'm a life coach, but we've just had a whole discussion, God love the only man present, around menopause. God love them, and the younger women. So because we're talking about the tiredness and the brain fog and that kind of stuff. So I know I've kind of decided I need to stop overloading. I think I got so enthusiastic about learning that I was with the shiny syndrome. Oh, somebody recommended that, I look at that. Somebody recommended that, I look at that. And now I'm going, oh, just give me a break. Yeah, so it's interesting. I'm sorry I didn't get to hear from the very beginning, but what I did hear I found very interesting. So thank you very much.
Oh, you are most welcome. What would you say, Niki, in terms of inner child in, say, Barbara's situation? There's a lot of stuff going on in her life. It's going all a bit manic and crazy. She's always consistently learning. What would you say?
Yeah, well, I think what's happening to Barbara is she's having a real spiritual awakening. I mean, she's really coming into her gifts. She really is. And she's finding it all, as a small child does, absolutely fascinating. You know how a small child will go from this toy to this toy, and then they want that toy, and then and you know, she's just so excited about everything. And in the child now who is just so thrilled that this is happening, and she's so excited, and she's doing as Leslie says, she's taking her by the hand and she's saying, look at this, but look at this is amazing, and now you all come over here and have a little look at this, this is just amazing, look how clever you are. It's fabulous. So yeah, I'd say to Barbara, just keep doing what you're doing, and it's okay. It's absolutely okay to have that, you know, shiny new toy at the moment, because what you're doing is exploring. You really are exploring everything in this dimension at the moment, and there's clearly a healer in you who wants to come out, and it's just finding where that is. Definitely. And you know, all of these things that you're learning, that I've learned, that Leslie's learned, that Trina's learned, and we're still all learning. You know, I'm always downloading new courses all the time. Chakra dancing last week, I was obsessed with chakra dancing. So you would find me, you know, dancing around the room to my root chakra music, going, oh yeah, that's really good. I just say go with it, you know, because these are all tools. These are all tools that make you unique. And what resonates with you, you'll use with other people. Yeah. You know, so just keep looking, you know, allow the search to happen. Don't do the, oh, I've learnt enough now, I'm going to stop. It's you know,
it's never ending.
Never ending. Enjoy it all, really. And I can see a little girl, she's super excited that you've opened up to that. And she really wants explore and enjoy it. And she's enjoying doing it with you.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is really good, because the thing is, you know, we do get excited, we do want to find things, we do want to seek things out, we do want to learn, you know, learn new stuff. We do want to, you know, we are learning. We are learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all learning. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Tell us about your program and tell us where we can find you as well.
Okay, super. So my website is shinesparkleradiate.com, all one word. And I'm on Instagram as shinesparkleradiate. I have a Facebook page, shinesparkleradiate. I have a Facebook groups for mums of girls, or I think it's called Mums of Girls. I put articles in there, we have discussions. It's where I give information about the retreats that I run as well. And the program that I have developed is for mums of daughters to make that reconnection and the rebonding in their relationship and to make it strong. So I start with mums. And we look at who they are. So we start with who am I? Not who am I as a mum, but who am I? And so we look at what makes them tick. What's their personality? Their human needs. We all have human needs. What are your most important human needs? And then we look at their inner child and see what might need healing in order for them to reparent themselves first before they can parent their daughters. And from there, we do a mum. We look at the lineage from a woman through her mother, through her grandmother, and what's happened in that lineage. Because often we find that in previous generations, a woman's needs were not met. Her voice was not heard.
Yeah.
That a daughter learns not to acknowledge her needs, that everybody else's needs come before her own, that she's the least important. Mothers were taught to be carers and our grandmothers were taught to be carers. So we come to a point where we identify what's been happening in our mother lineage, and then we write a bill of rights. So from this moment on, every morning I'm going to check in with myself to see how I am. If somebody asks me how I am in my family, I'm going to tell the truth. I'm not just going to say I'm fine, which is what we tend to do as women, even when we're not fine. I'm fine. I'm going to say, well, actually today, you know what? I need some help around the house, or I just need an hour to myself. And I'm taking that hour for myself. So once a week, I'm going to take myself off for a walk by myself, without the dog, without the children. I'm just going to take myself off. Or every week I'm going to meet with my girlfriends. And then from there, there's conflict. There's conflict between mum and daughter because but certainly in the teenage years, a daughter's job is to rebel. You know, the end of the day, we say our teenagers are naughty. They're not naughty. They're just doing their job. Their job is to rebel because they have to leave the tribe. And in order to leave the tribe, they have to make a new tribe. And to make that new tribe, they have to turn away from the family rules and the family management. And I always liken that to learning to swim. When our toddlers learn to swim, to begin with, hold them in our arms, and we keep them close and we let them kick their little legs behind them. Then we turn them around so they're facing the pool and they can see the pool and the other people, but we're still behind them, we're still holding them. And then eventually, sway. But when they start to panic, they turn around and they come back and we're there with our arms open, ready to meet them. Well, our teenagers have to do that. And we have to be there for them when things go wrong, when they make the wrong mistake, when they get into the wrong crowd, when they're bullied, when they go to their first party, or they have all of these things. We need to be there for our children. And girls find it very, very difficult, and mums find it very difficult to see their daughters doing this, to moving away from mum, who's been the security blanket, who's been the role model. to their friends becoming that. And so we then work on, you know, what's going wrong? Why is this conflict there? What is it in mum's experience of being a daughter that has taught her to be this type of mother? What happened to her? So we work on that, and then we work on bringing mum and daughter together, and we go through a process of mum telling her daughter what her pregnancy and birth was like, and then how it was when daughter was a baby. Because often as mothers, we don't tell our children that. We don't tell our children what birth was like. It's not something we talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
To know that they were wanted.
Absolutely. Yeah. We just need to wrap this up now. But tell us how we can get onto your program. Yeah, super. So if you want to go onto my website, send me an email, go on the page, like the page, follow the page, and then get in contact with me through there. Then I can tell you much more about the program and how it works. And you can be in touch with me. Absolutely. And Barbara says, really interesting. I'm a mum of 2 girls. I have 1 sister and 6 brothers. I talk about everything with my 2, like my daughter as well. We talk about everything. Excellent session. Thank you. Very interesting. Really loved it. Thanks, Niki.